Aisha.
What are you doing here?
Today my lecturer said the traveling cost method, but I don't have the idea what it is.
Well, don't worry. I can give you a brief introduction on TCM.
Travel cost method used to calculate the economic value of non-market resources, including parks for outdoor recreation, wildlife refuges, and other natural resources. Decision makers can use it to evaluate resources management and conservation initiative by calculating the resources' economic value. To appropriately price their services, tourist businesses might utilize the trip cost approach to ascertain how keen their potential clients are to spend money on attractions or leisure activities. Individual travel cost methods are used to determine the value people assign to particular products or services. This method acknowledges that a person's value for a good or service is based on both the price of item and the additional cost they spend to obtain it. Allow economists to determine the economic implication of various markets or policies. In addition, they can better comprehend the true value of goods and services to customers. The zonal method of calculating travel costs refers to a certain area or territory segregated according to the particular traits or standards. An area with a distinct climate, such as a zonal climate, has a range of temperatures, a certain amount of precipitations, and other climatic characteristics.
I see.
Hi guys, what are you talking about?
So I was explaining to you about TCM.
Travel cost method?
Yes.
I know this, I've done this before.
Okay.
Actually, there are some advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is non-market valuation. Travel cost method allows for estimation of economic value for non-market goods and services, such as natural parks, wildlife reserves, or cultural heritage sites. These resources often lack of market price, but they still possess significant value to individuals and society. Travel cost method provides a means to quantify this value in monetary terms. Second one is reflects actual behavior. Travel cost method relies on observed travel patterns and expenditures of individuals who choose to visit recreational sites. By examining their actual behavior and associated costs, the method captures the real preference and choice of visitors. This makes the evaluation more grounded in reality and less reliant on hypothetical scenarios. The last one is cost-effective. Compared to other valuation techniques like contingent valuation or hedonic pricing, travel cost method can be relatively cost-effective to implement. It relies on existing data such as travel cost, visitation rate, and site characteristics, which may be readily available from survey, visitor centers, or administrative records. There is also disadvantages to it, such as
the central theoretical flaw in the travel cost method is that it can only capture use values, shedding no light on non-use values, which could be much larger, at least in principle. Non-use values are not measured by travel cost method, and therefore are undervalued, further distorting resource allocation against the non-use outcomes. Defining and measuring the opportunity cost of time is difficult. Travel time has an opportunity cost as it could be used performing some other activities. However, if people enjoy travel itself, then travel time becomes a benefit, not a cost, and the value of the site will be overestimated.
Thank you guys. At least I have some basic ideas.
good.
A few moments later.
Hi, Iqbal.
Hi, Iqbal.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I was just thinking about the traveling cost method. I learned it that day, but I still do not understand its application. Can you guys explain to me?
Of course, as we know, there are two types of TCM, which is zonal and individuals. However, there isn't much research that use zonal method. So, I will explain to you the particular method of ITCM, which is Economic Value of a Recreation as an Ecosystem Service in IKBAR Recreational Forest, Malaysia. The study aims at estimating the economic value of a forest located in an urban setting within Malaysia. The IKBAR Recreational Forest, which is situated in Malacca, Malaysia, was chosen as the research site. The model function used in this study case contains many variables that contribute to travel trip costs. The total economic value estimate for this natural resource was $2,346 hectares per year. Economic valuation using travel cost method in Kilim Kasjo Forest Park, Langkawi, Malaysia. The individual travel cost method was used to derive the NEMA model. The consumer surplus was used to determine the value and make a comparison. The variables used were also similar to the previous example, which includes the total round-trip travel cost of the individual, quality of the forest park, age of the individual, education level of the individual, gross monthly income, and coefficient to be estimated. The results show that the economic value of KKGP based on travel cost adjustment was greater than consumer surplus adjustment techniques. The third study case I can find is the economic evaluation of recreation benefits in Chaman Forest Recreation Area, Pahang Peninsula, Malaysia. The aims of the study is to employ the individual travel cost method to estimate the economic value of forest recreation benefits by analyzing data. Analyses were carried out to estimate descriptive and frequency statistic of visitor profile. The economic value was estimated using 3 recreation demand models: semi-log, Tobit, and Poisson. The individual travel cost method was applied in this study based on 3 recreation demand models. This shows that CRF's economic value is substantial and that it is discounted net present value ranges from 6.7 million ringgit Malaysia to 10.6 million ringgit Malaysia. The assessment of non-consumptive wildlife-oriented tourism in Sukau Sabah using travel cost method. It have objective to determine the characteristic of tourist participation in wildlife river cruising, or in short WRC, in terms of their socio-demographic backgrounds, and to estimate the economic value of WRC activity in Sukau Sabah. In the study, the calculation of travel cost method included all of the respondent individual expenditures like air transportation from country of origin, land transportation to the tourist jetty in Sandakan Town Sabah, and the charge tourists paid to participate in WRC. Evaluation technique called travel cost method was applied to estimate the economic value of WRC in Sukau Sabah. Based on this finding, WRC recreational value for 2014 was estimated to be 40,149 ringgit and 63 cents per visit per person. Okay, that is what I know about ITC app.
Interesting. I have also come across with similar research such as example, the case study of Taman Tasik Cempaka in Bandar Baru Bangi, Malaysia. Objective to generate the demand function for park visitation and to estimate the recreational benefit. Method: the basic count data for most travel cost model is a Bayesian regression where the number of trips by an individual to a park is assumed to be generated by a Bayesian process. Result: an empirical result show the undiscounted aggregate value of recreational benefit. How about other countries?
Let me share with you some other examples of ITCM applied in other countries, such as
an economic valuation using travel cost method was conducted in Lake Tana in Ethiopia, where individual data were obtained from 1,094 on-site surveys. The objective of the study was to estimate the recreational value of Lake Tana and to analyze the consumer characteristics associated with recreational demand. The variables associated with this method were monthly income, the age of the visitors, and their preference for other recreational sites. Based on the results obtained, Lake Tana is said to have a total economic value of $68.5 million per year. There is also an interesting study conducted at a historical site in Greece. The travel cost approach was used in this study to estimate the consumer surpluses and overall values associated with the Poseidon Temple in Sunio, Greece. The findings indicate that the annual consumer surplus associated with visits to the Poseidon Temple ranges from 1.5 to 24.5 million euros, and the total economic value for the historical site ranges between 17.8 and 55.7 million euros per year. The result provides important information about the total amount of money that the Greek government is able to spend on the upkeep and preservation of the historical site. In Australia, there is another study on the travel cost method that studied the recreational value of Gold Coast beaches. This study was done to better understand the characteristics of beach users and their values about recreational use. Travel expenses, each beachgoer's socio-economic profile, a substitute site, and an environmental quality are the 4 different categories of independent variables in the individual travel cost method. For locals and visitors alike, the projected consumer surplus from a single trip to the Gold Coast beach was between $10.05 and $14.32 per person. Gold Coast Beach's total economic value for many beach visits is more than $500 million annually. Last but not least, a case study on forest valuation using the travel cost method at Serengseng Jakarta Urban Forest was published in 2019. The objective of the study was to determine the total economic benefit of Serengseng Jakarta Urban Forest in Indonesia. The variables used in the model function included visits to the urban forest are cost, age, occupation, gender, and visitor satisfaction. The travel cost method utilized in this research resulted in the Serengseng Urban Forest total economic benefit of 0.44 ringgit Malaysia million per year.
Do you get it now?
Yes, I understand. I think I have also come across its similar research in other countries, such as example the case study Aimanis Beach, Indonesia. Objective to determine the economic value of ecotourism in Aimani Beach in Indonesia. Outcome: travel cost, income, gender, and age have a significant effect on determining the number of tourist visit. Result: the total additional increase that is willing to be paid is idea up for 198,000 or an average of idea up to 1,767 per respondent. In conclusion, the travel cost methods in an economic approach used to estimate the economic value of recreational site or environmental resources by analyzing the cost incurred by individual to travel to and engage in activity at those sites. This method also be conducted in and outside the country. The economic valuation are a need to estimate the benefit and cost for decision maker or researchers to make a decision. Now, I understand about TCM even more clearly. Thank you so much, guys.
We are glad to help you. Good
Good
luck,
luck.
Iqbal.
Okay, thank you. Bye.